Hey everyone, so I wanted to shed a little insight on why dividend isn't everything. And this is going to come as a shock to a lot of my subscribers because I am a dividend investor. I love dividends. I am so infatuated with it. It is my wife at this point. Okay. I looked at growth stocks. I looked at Amazon. I looked at Tesla. I saw how much money I was literally leaving on the table. I saw how much Netflix had went up when it first came out. Tesla 5x, 2x, 2x again. I just started to buy some Tesla and it's doing amazing for me. I have already doubled my money on Tesla since December. Okay? But why is dividends not everything? I just led a little bit towards that, but I want to speak about dividends more than I want to speak about growth stocks. So bear with me. But before I get into that, I just want to finish off this last topic. The owner of the Brooklyn Nets, how did he acquire the Brooklyn Nets? Well, his story was a very simple one. He invested in Amazon at the very early stages. I believe over $1,000, and Amazon was worth like $50, $30 at the time. And he just held on to Amazon and rode that sucker for over 20 good years. When he eventually sold Amazon, he had well over $2 billion. That is insane. Warren Buffett, a dividend investor, he owns Berkshire Hathaway, a large percentage of that company. That company has not paid a dividend, but it holds many dividend companies. That company, if you had bought that 20 years ago for just, let's say $1,000, $10,000, you would have well over $300,000 today. So tell me, how many dividends are going to give you that for the strength of $10,000? Not many. Here's the thing though. With dividends, you're able to diversify. You're able to buy those growth stocks. You're able to buy those other companies with money that is given to you by, again, the companies that you invest in, whether that's Pepsi, Coca-Cola, I don't know, ADM, NOBL, VOO. These are just a few of the companies I invest in. Sony, MCD, Costco, Disney, whatever it is that you decide to invest in, you can then diversify that money into other companies like Netflix, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, whatever it is. Yeah, so a lot of people, when they first get into dividend investing, I see that they do two things. They either look for the cheapest companies, which is the worst idea ever, because cheap companies mean that they're on the verge of bankruptcy or they just don't have the capital to really expand. Why would you want a $10 company that does not have any profits? They're not profitable. They don't have any value, right? The only company that I know that is of a smaller financial base is Ford, that is actually still profitable, right? So Ford is profitable in their market. They're losing money in the EV space right now, but they're very cheap to buy. And I believe a lot of that is contributed to the fact of it not being very innovative, it doing the same thing, sticking within the same box, it not providing new value, new ideas, new things, right? If Tesla was to be stagnant, if all they did was the Cybertruck and then they just stopped there, it would be so hard to continue to invest in that company because we don't see the growth, we don't see the potential. It's easy to continue to buy McDonald's when you see them buying more shares, constantly changing meal ideas, inventing new things. Popeyes with the new crispy chicken sandwich, boom, everything just skyrockets everything, all the prices go up on everything. Everybody's trying to compete. Now everyone needs a crispy chicken sandwich. I mean, it is unbelievable how much innovation, how much creativity, how many new ideas is always being formulated in order to capture more of the market, in order to corner the market, in order to wipe out your competition, right? These companies are doing so much in terms of being innovative, but Ford, GM, all these other companies, they had to wait for Tesla to come out and show that there's profit in the electric vehicle space for them to now take initiative and do it. But now Tesla has so much of a head start. Who wouldn't invest in Tesla rather than these other companies? So again, what I meant by that is to be an innovator. If the company is not an innovator, if the company is not first at anything, it'll be last at everything, right? So we don't look at just the dividend. There's a lot of companies out there that if you invest in it, you're only invested in it because it has a high dividend, but it doesn't make any money. And here's why. There are companies that are worth $20 a share and has 11% dividend payout. So now you're making all this cash flow, but the stock itself from year to year goes down $1 every single year. So although you're getting cash flow, you're getting less dividends every year because the stock price is going down, and you're losing money because if it goes down $1, that 11% gain that you're getting on $20 is absolutely wiped out. You're losing money. That's why I tell people you need to get growth dividend stocks. What does that mean? The stock must go up in value and the dividend must either stay the same or increase over time. So a company like VOO increases their increases their dividend every 10.6 years. Meanwhile, their stock grows 7 times every decade, right? They have 7 good years and only 3 down years. That's typically the stock market cycle, right? Because VOO emulates the stock market. So if you take that into consideration, you say, okay, I'm getting a dividend, but the price of the companies that I'm invested in are also growing. Coca-Cola, it might only grow by 20 cents in a whole year, but guess what? It grew. And you know what else grew with it? The dividend payout that is giving you. So please, please, please do not focus on the dividend alone and then the company on a 5-year, 10-year cycle is actually in red. What does that mean? You're going to lose money on your dividend because you cannot make money on a company that is going down in value. It's not possible. I don't know one company that pays a dividend that is high, is losing money, and the dividend is still more profitable than the money that it's losing. It's not possible. Over a 5-10 year period, is just not possible. You're going to be in the red. You're going to be in the negative. So don't look at the cash flow and be investing in a company that is going downhill. That's number one. You got to look for growth stocks that have dividends. I know that sounds weird, but it has to be a growth dividend stock. Now that we have that covered, look at blue chip companies. What are blue chip companies? Companies that are in high standing in America. Companies that have proven that they are able to withstand recessions. Then I want you to look at something even further, dividend aristocrats. Dividends that have constantly been paid, companies that have constantly paid out a dividend for over 25 years are dividend aristocrats. What does that mean? They have never lowered their dividend and they have never not paid their dividend over a 25-year period. That means you can rest assured that you will always have a dividend being paid out to you and that the company is most likely profitable as a dividend aristocrat, which means they've not only been able to pay you to thank you for investing in them, but they've been able to maintain profitability and they've been able to appease their investors for a long time. Another thing that you should look for is what do you personally like? What do you personally buy? So if you buy, I don't know, face masks to cover yourself. You don't want people to spit on you. You don't want people to speak in your face and have all that saliva and stuff. If you like Listerine, if you like toothpaste, like Crest and things like that, what company makes those things? Okay, you got Procter and Gamble, you got 3M, right? So those two companies, they both pay a dividend. If you like what they provide, if you like the products that they provide to you, then the next step is, how much money have they made? How much has the stock price risen in a 5-10 year period? All right, it has rose by 20%, 30%, 40%. That's good. That means in 5 to 10 years, I can expect at least a 10, 20, 30% gain. And then how much is the dividend payout? What is the dividend? Then you can compare those two companies and you can say, okay, this company did well over a 5-10 year period. Although the dividend was higher, this company will pay me more in the long run because it has grown so much more than that other company, right? So now you can say, yes, that dividend is good, but I'll make more money if I invest on this company because it grows so much faster and it still pays a decent dividend. The next thing you want to look at is, what is the company going to do in the next 2 to 3 years to improve, to increase its market share? So for example, that other company might not have grown as fast, but it pays a better dividend. And now it has said that it's going to implement these 3 things that you actually believe are going to